Welcome back to 5-5 Sports. This is our reaction to Game 4 of the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Interesting game we've just seen. We thought that there was a chance the Leafs would be going out last night, but they pulled through. Evan, thoughts on the game?
I don't have too many thoughts. My brain's kind of still processing what I watched yesterday. When it was 3-0, I turned it off. I only joined back when it was 3-2. I have to be completely honest. I'm nothing if not an honest man, but um, it's just all of a sudden, for 56 minutes of that game, they couldn't score. All of a sudden, three in under 4 minutes. And they they live to breathe another day. We're not even celebrating a series win here. We're celebrating the fact that we're going to go into a do or die game 5. But incredible comeback. Again, I'm still processing it. I'm shocked that they even had the ability to score three in a quick succession. I thought for sure the game was over. Columbus came back from 3 goals down the other day, but they got one in the second. The game was tied with still 7 minutes left, so it wasn't really as dramatic as I'd say the Leafs comeback. But once it went to overtime, I knew the Leafs were going to win that game. That's just how hockey works. Once you get that, if you make a comeback like that, you're always going to win that game in OT. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it a few years ago against Boston, 3-goal lead, 4-1, win in overtime, and they got to carry the momentum. I would be a lot more confident going into Game 5 if it was any other team, but we're again talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, the team that does nothing other than raise my blood pressure and give me heart attacks. But I mean, we got to watch a Game 5. For large portion of that game, I didn't think that was possible. It's a lot of work to do. For 56 minutes, they're horrible in that game. But somehow we're here talking about the Leafs winning the game. I'm completely unprepared for what I even wanted to say in this podcast. Usually I know exactly what I want to say. Usually, I read the game, I analyze the game, but that's just one. It's 2020. One of those things is just unexplainable, a gift from God. That's all I can pin it down. It's the only thing I could pinpoint. It's just a gift from up above.
Yeah, and I think especially since it's such a huge opposite from Game 3, where Leafs actually dominated the beginning of Game 3 and they just completely deteriorated in the last period. This time we were completely we weren't even trying in the first period. It looked like there was no effort. We looked lazy. It seemed like one of the worst games we played this series yet, or if
Yeah,
not the
no,
worst.
it was definitely the worst. I mean, I can't say the worst game because they had the 3 minute stretch at the end.
But I think playing the goalie was still within about 4 minutes. I think of the game. I think I really gave Leafs enough time to shift the momentum of the game and kind of when he gets the first goal and you don't really think much of it, it's like, okay, there's still 3 minutes left. Not much we can still do. But having that amount of time to make a comeback was a good decision.
Yeah, I just want to say, even in overtime, I thought Columbus were more likely to score until Matthews finally scored. I thought they had better puck retention. Columbus, they had higher quality chances, putting better. They just had better shots. I thought Toronto was pinned in their own end for a long period of time. That overtime, then they got the lucky break. They got a power play. Nick Foligno didn't really like it. I don't blame him when you do that well, but it was a penalty, of course. He shoved Riley into the boards. Yeah, they got the break. Matthews converted. I don't think anyone else is going to score on the Leafs in an overtime game. That's just destined to be Austin Matthews. I'm really lost for words. I'm trying to find the words, and I'm trying to, as I'm speaking, I'm hoping they come to me, but I'm in shock, really. Even the night after, we're doing this about 12:30 the next day, and I'm still kind of processing the result. I don't know what happened. It's just so unlike the Leafs. Quick shout out Zach Hyman, the guy I'll never call out on this podcast. Always does the dirty work. Always does the hard. Always does the hard things well. Goes in the boards. Always keeping the puck alive. Second chances. Zach Hyman, terrific player. If you want to talk about a good contract and just a guy that you want on your team if you want to win, Zach Hyman's one of those guys. I never have anything bad to say about him. not the most talented guy, but loves Toronto. Came Thornhill born. Um, Zach Hyman, one of my favorite players in the Leafs, because always gives us all his hustle, his heart. That's exactly what you want from a Leafs player, and he deserved that goal. I think if anyone deserved it outside of Austin Matthews, Zach Hyman. He's been one of the best players all series. There hasn't been many for the Maple Leafs, but Zach Hyman, terrific player and deserved that. Good for him. And we have to hope for Game 5 that we win, because you have all the momentum now. There's really no excuse. You can't let Columbus, get confident, get a goal. It's you got to put them away early. It's obviously not going to happen because it's the Maple Leafs, but I predicted Toronto in 5. It didn't seem likely at about 10:30 last night, but it's possible today. It's possible at 12:30 on Saturday, August the what? August the 8th. Yeah, that's what it is. Again, it felt like they're just out of sync for most of those 3 periods. Marner would often just skate in the zone, and then he would drop off the pass, and Columbus had gone the other way because he found no one. I don't know how they won that game, because for the 45 minutes that I watched, they were horrible. All of a sudden, I was sitting there watching a game in overtime. I thought it was like a dream or something. It just didn't make sense to me. But then Nylander finally broke Elvis Merzlikins, got one through the legs. Then John Tavares, great shot, top corner. No goalie in the NHL is going to save that. Just perfect placement. And then again, the net just seemed, all of a sudden, it seemed huge. For 3 periods, Elvis Merzlikins made that net seem really small. It seemed like there's no way getting by him. All of a sudden, one gets by him. He's sitting in the crease. He's crouching, and they've rattled him. I think if he does start Game 5, Merzlikins, I think they're going to lose. I think they have to go back to Korpisalo just for confidence-wise. Korpisalo has done well enough in 3 games. He's had 2 periods, given up 3 goals, but outside of that, he hasn't been bad. I just think a young goalie like that, when you blow a game like that, he's rattled. And if he does play, I'd almost guarantee Toronto win, to be honest. So I don't see how he recovers, how he has any confidence after that, because frankly, it's despite it being a team effort, despite Columbus lost that game as a team, it always comes down to the goalie.
You're completely right about that. Like, there's no worse feeling for a goalie than blowing your team's lead.
Yeah, and it's just the way he did it too. It's just when even when Toronto blew a 3-goal lead, they blew it early.
Yeah.
So they scored on the power play still in the second period. Toronto scored 3 goals so in such quick succession. It almost felt like Boston a few years ago when they got those 2 goals. But even Toronto, even in less time, I forget. I think it was Milan Lucic that got the scoring going. I forgot how many years ago it was now. 2013? 7 years ago. So even Boston had the scoring early, and then they got 2 late goals. I mean, Toronto scored 3 late goals, all under 4 minutes, all with an extra man. No, the goalie wasn't in net for any of them. You know what? I had a list through the first 2.5 periods of everyone was going to call out. I was going to call out Marinch and Hull for the first goal, just being too slow. The second goal is a good point shot, but again, it was just a long shift. They got tired. Marner, just lazy stick, hits the stick, goes over Anderson. Could have been saved, yes, but that was the second goal. I honestly forget how they scored the third goal. Again, it was a Morgan Rielly giveaway. So again, it was just sloppy play. But they recovered it. That's all I can say. Good for the Leafs. It's just something I didn't expect from them. I think it's the last team in the world I would expect to come back like that from. Just seems like God hates the Leafs, but God was smiling on us last night.
Yeah, and like you said, like we both said, the first part of that game, the first 2 periods were completely dreadful. But it's nice to see.
I'd even go further than that. It was like the first 55 minutes of that game. Forget the first 2 periods. It was even the third period until the last 4 minutes. And even overtime, they weren't good. I don't know. Even in overtime, I thought I was watching that game thinking Columbus is going to find a way just to spoil the party, but they didn't. Columbus, thank you guys for playing horrible hockey throughout 3 games. I mean, I respect you guys. You guys have lost Temi Panarin, They lost Bobrovsky last year, so they lost a lot of talent. But they've shown that hockey is a team game, and if you have a good game plan, if your coach puts in the right system, that you'll find ways to be competitive and you'll find ways to stay in games. They still have a chance, Columbus. I'm not going to count them out. Toronto is always prone to disappointing their fans. I think that's the nicest way I can put it. Yeah, but all my negative thoughts, and I thought I was gonna come on this podcast today, and I was gonna just be angry, and I was gonna just be like, nothing new, and that's how it felt for most of the game. But we're sitting here talking about how we have a chance to advance to play one of the big boys if we win the game Sunday. This has been another Emergency at Least podcast, and it was an emergency because we are playing on Sunday night in a do-or-die game, win or go home. Maple Leaf fans, get ready. My heart already couldn't take the last two games. Now it's the most pressure-filled situation in hockey. It's not Game 7, but it is elimination game. Game 5, Sunday night at Scotiabank Arena. We'll be back after the game. Win or lose, I'm either going to be crying when we're the happiest man alive because the Leafs either win the series or they go home once again in a first round. From 5-5 Sports, I'm Evan Runeberg. Alongside me again, Matty Choi. We're going to see you guys on Monday morning. So, see you guys.
Thanks for listening.